Ninlil. Oh, yeah, Ninlil, the wife of Enlil. Ninlil. Some would say she looks Oriental Chinese, but I'm not sure. Some would say that she is a male, or also related to an owl because her husband happens to be an eagle man. I mean, his symbolism is an eagle. Some would say she looks like this, which makes more sense. Of course, she's not that beautiful. Might be older. Of course, she's not that young and beautiful. And she can't be like this lady here. No, she isn't. She's darker than that. Ninlil, Mulishu, Mulisha, Mylita, and Mylita, a goddess mainly known as the wife of Enlil, the head of the early Mesopotamian pantheon, and later of Anshar, the head of the Assyrian pantheon. She first appears in the late 4th millennium BCE and survived into the 1st centuries CE. She was at times secretized with various healing and mother goddesses, as well as with the goddess Ishtar. Ninlil is primarily known as the wife of Enlil. Reconstructing her original function depends in part on how the second part of her name is interpreted. See the section name and spell below, as well as the function sections and the entry of for Enlil. A common but very uncertain interpretation translates Ninlil's name as the Queen of the Breeze, assigning Ninlil the same domain as Enlil. However, see the objection raised below under names and spellings. Because Ninlil primarily appears as Enlil's consort, she shares some of his characteristics. His characteristics as creator, father of the gods, head of the pantheon, giver of life. Though her syncretism, she also took an aspect of healing and mother goddesses. Cannot be, because first they say once N and Anu. Others say, yeah, N and Anu. And some would say the mother, the Orient Queen. And now says this one, no, cannot be. It's not. These people just make up as they go along, but they don't have a clue. But these seem to be secondary rather than original functions. Her epithets include Queen of the Heavens and the Earth, Queen of the Lands, or Lady of the Gods, and foremost Lady of the Anuna gods. Anuna, which means Anunnaki. Divine genealogy and secretaries Anunnaki, those who from the heaven came. Ninlil was secretized with several goddesses. The foremost among these is Sud, the patron deity of the city of Surupag, one of the antediluvian cities mentioned in the Sumerian king list. The Sumerian myth of Enlil and Sud is a literary rendering of this syncretism and relates how Sud married Enlil and thus became Ninlil. In addition, Ninlil was also secretized with several minor healing and mother goddesses. The Sumerian myth Enlil and Ninlil describes how Enlil pursues Ninlil amorously, resulting in Ninlil giving birth to the moon god Su-En, the underworld deity Nergal, and the gods Ninazu and Imbilulu. I thought that the moon god would be Ashtar, is a female. When Enlil was secretized with Ashtar, the highest god of the Assyrian pantheon. Ninlil consequently became Ashar's wife and was identified with Sirwa. In the first millennium BCE, Ninlil became identified with Ishtar, like many other goddesses, especially with Ishtar of Keys and Ishtar of Arbela and Heretrades. Ninlil under the name Melita. Melita was identified as the Assyrian version of Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love. Herodotus, his stories. It's possible that this identification was due to Ninlil's syncretism with Ishtar, the goddesses of love and war. As Ninlil's wife, it is unlikely that Ninlil was worshipped in the same places as her husband. Her main temple at Nippur, once called Ikiwar. In addition, Ninlil was worshipped in the city of Tumal, which was not been located yet, but is most likely in the vicinity of Nippur. Additional cult place of Ninlil. Time period test of this stage span about 3,000 years ago. The furthest attestation can be found in the earliest written documentation from Mesopotamia. Her last attestation dates well into the Common Era, when she is mentioned as Mylitta and Herodiotus Peri autographies into the 2nd century CE. Very little is known about the iconography of Ninlil Mulitu. Some of her later iconography may overlap with that of the goddess Ashtar, of the word syncretized. Astronomically, she is identified with the constellation Ursa Major. The element Lil in Ninlil's and Ninlil names has been strongly debated among Assyriologists. Also, the entry of Ninlil. Krebernik's interpretation of this element as meaning breeze is problematic, as the reference he adduces a commentary text that belongs to a speculative tradition dated to the New Assyrian period, in which goddesses were associated with winds. Ninlil is there associated with the north wind, and her name is explained as the Lady of the Breeze. The same text associates Ninlil with the east wind and explains his name as the Lord of all. And there is no evidence for such an interpretation. It has to remain uncertain. So he is the Ninlil, is the god the east wind. Ninlil Akkadian name Mulutu Molisu is curiously derived from Ninlil's Emeso name. The Emeso word for in-lord is Umun, which Ninlil's name was shortened to Mum, where the assimilates to following consonant was added to create feminine grammatical gender, and so Ninlil's Akkadian name became Mulitu, and under the influence of New Assyrian sound changes in which the consonants it become SS. I don't like to go into detail. This one is taken to Greek as Malita, suggests that the derivation of Ninlil's Akkadian name from Ninlil, a Mesal name, could indicate that Ninlil was already understood as the primary deity from very early on. Yet this does not explain why the name was derived from his Imeso rather than his Imager name. Mulil and Mulitu can also be analyzed as words derived from the Akkadian verb to be pure.